a lot different.
Me either.
Hey, Casey, Dave Van Horn said he thinks you're a lot better defender this year, that you always had the range, but he thinks you're kind of slowing down now, making more accurate throws, taking your time a little bit more. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd have to say we've put a lot of work into it. Mainly just slowing the clock down in my head, because this game is played very fast, and sometimes you need to slow the game down more than speeding it up. And I play the game pretty fast, and I like to speed it up a lot, and that's just my game. That's just how I've always been. So we put a lot of talk into that. I talk about it every single day. So honestly, just slowing that clock down, and it really makes an improvement.
You feel like you're going to cut down on yours quite a bit?
Yeah, I think so. It's been good to see. Things been going pretty good that way. So time will just tell.
Does that apply at the plate also? It's kind of slowing down.
Absolutely. Yeah, me and Thompson talk about it every single day about that too. Just slowing it down. Trust the approach, trust the process, and I think if we do that on both sides, I think we'll be good.
Scrimmages so far, what have you seen from Blake Adams?
Blake has been extremely good as a freshman. He's been anywhere from 94 to 96. He's learned to throw a slider down in the zone, a big league slider, and he's worked on his changeup. There's no reason that dude shouldn't go out and just shove for 5, 6, even 7 straight innings. He has a great poise and attitude for a freshman, which is honestly kind of hard to find in a lot of guys coming in to fill a big role like that. You look back at last year like Nolan, and I thought he did a wonderful job with that. And Blake has come in and really done the same thing, and he'll do nothing but get better if he just keeps that attitude.
What have you seen from Robert Moore so far?
Robert, man, the dude's pretty talented. Coming in, he came in December, graduated, left his high school early, missing high school baseball season. To be with us, that just tells you the dude wants to play. But, the ability's there, and he does speed the game up a lot, kind of like I did, maybe even a little bit more. I think he probably has better hands, faster hands than I do. And, but, right now, he's been great. He's swinging it great on both sides of the plate. He's battling. He's shown that he's meant to be in this role, in this lineup that he's in, and he's proven himself, even though he's only been here for 4 or 5 weeks only. It's been great to see from a young guy like that to battle with. He's only 17 years old, and he's jumping in playing with 21, 22-year-olds. I think that tells you a lot about the player he is and what he wants to achieve in the game. But he's been, like I said, been really good defensively. He, like I said, does have better hands than me. He's quicker. Right now we're just trying to get him to slow it down just a little bit because he gets a little sped up. And it's just the same thing that applies to me applies to him. You just got to slow that clock down. But, once he figures that out, he's going to be unstoppable.
Casey, you and Heston obviously have played a ton of games since you really got here. Now you're going to your draft-eligible year. You guys seem to be on every All-American team that comes out. Kind of what's your attitude going into this season, knowing the expectations are so high for you guys once you're draft-eligible year?
Well, expectations are high. It seems like they always have been after the first year. Honestly, we're not really looking into it. We don't talk about it. Hessen doesn't talk about it. We'll tell each other congrats, and then we move on. Really that's not the concern right now, and I don't think that will be the concern coming to the season because it's great to have people think that highly of you, but at the end of the day it's just opinions. We haven't done anything. The season hasn't even started. That's cool to add on to what we have achieved here, but we're not really going to look into it, and we're just going to take one game at a time.
And then beyond you two guys, the whole team, Dave just said, probably expectations for the team are at an all-time high, and the expectations are always pretty high anyway. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, same thing goes for that. Everybody really doesn't try to look into it. At the end of the day, we know what our goal is, and every single one of these guys came here for a reason, and they just want to achieve the same goals. That's win the West Division, win regionals, win supers, then go to College World Series and win a national championship and come back with a ring. Everybody wants to do that, and we all know that. So, the expectations are extremely high. I think this year we have a pretty freaking good team. Honestly, it might be better than last year's and the year before, in my opinion. Top to bottom, the lineup is amazing. Our defense is outstanding. There's no reason we shouldn't do something spectacular here with these guys. But, they kind of take it the same way. They take one game at a time. They don't look too much into it, and they're all reaching for the same goal at the end of the day.
Put the lineup together. Dave said they stacked the lineup against those pitchers last weekend. The numbers seem to be pretty good. I wonder what your impressions were, though, of what you guys were able to do.
Well, before we did that, I walked up to the bat one day, and Opitz looked at me and said, "We have the best offense in the country." And he was on the losing team after we had hit 4 or 5 home runs in 1 or 2 innings. Coming from a guy like Opitz, who's been behind the plate last year against some of the best offenses we've faced, that should tell you a lot about what kind of offense we really are. And I just looked at him and I was like, "You really think so?" And he was just like, "Yeah, dude, like there's no way like we shouldn't put up, monster numbers this year." And so, these guys work hard. We got one young guy in there. I guess you got Franklin back. He's still an underclassman, but, he technically is an older guy. And then, of course, you got all of us guys back, Nesbitt and Kerstad and Opitz and all them. But, man, this offense has exploded, and it's really been exciting to watch. And a lot of the guys, the last 2 or 3 scrimmages we had, we're talking about how excited they were to see the actual lineup against somebody else, because we know our own guys. And, of course, they know us, so you never know. It's a 50-50 shot either way when you're facing your own guys for almost a year now. But, everybody's excited, and I'm definitely impressed.
On the flip side, when you have an inter-team scrimmage like that, if one team does well, they might wonder about the pitching staff. I wonder, is that just I think you were talking about that a second ago. Was it a byproduct of just seeing Connor and Patrick and Blake so many times? You felt like that's why you did so well? Yeah,
maybe sometimes, you know how the guys throw, their go-to pitches. Of course, they have the scouting report on you. So sometimes that might be part of it. But, then again, even though you might know that, 94, 96 still isn't really easy to hit with 88-mile-an-hour cutters or sliders. So I think it goes kind of both ways. Great hitters plus, we've seen them so much.
You guys aren't using buzzers, are you?
Huh?
You guys aren't using buzzers, are you?
Buzzers?
Yeah.
Nah.
It's a joke.
Yeah, no, I got you. No.
Anything else? Yeah. Ms. Casey?
Yeah.